It's 7 minutes and I think 26 seconds, so it's not too long, and it highlights the main points for you. Mention the word asylum and consider what comes into your mind. Most likely you're going to have a picture of a palatial sized building that were prolific in the 19th century. There was at least one in every county in England, and I believe at least one, possibly two, actually had railway stations. But where are those asylums today? If you look in the Bible, it mentions Egypt. Now that is nothing to do with the nation state today. It is referring to the external material world. So you are at all actually in Egypt. So where are the pyramids? We'll just consider all the corporations. There are pyramid structure where you'll have somebody at the top, then you'll have the next tier, which will be the board of directors, and then another tier below that, which will be the area managers, and then the managers, then the supervisors, working all the way down to the shop floor workers. The pyramids of today are the corporate world. They're conceptual in the mind. They become invisible. And the same applies to asylums. One of the reasons you could be put in an asylum was being accused of being feeble-minded. So where are the asylums today? They follow the same pattern as the pyramids, becoming corporations. Everything in this reality is subject to terms and conditions. And the asylums of today don't require psychiatric staff. They don't require a building to be maintained as such. What they are conceptual prisons that people will put themselves into without even realizing. The way to go into an asylum is to religiously watch something like the 6 o'clock news and import all those stories which are psychologically damaging to keep you in a fear state, to keep you in a state of worry and anxiety. So it's a self-imposed asylum today. And many are in that, and you've only got to look at the behaviour of people. They see something on the news, this politician has said this, and that actor has said that, or whatever it happens to be. Some will go out and protest on the streets, or there'll be acts of vandalism and such like. I would suggest that is just crazy behaviour, based on something that is just hearsay, which is heresy that they don't know to even be true. So it's a self-imposed madness in this crazy world. And just like everything is a reflection, if you're to suggest something different to these people, they will say that you are mad. But you're just reflecting back that they are the ones that are in a self-imposed insane asylum of their own making. And they lock themselves into it, and they're feeble-minded because they won't look outside of the belief system that they have. They're not open-minded enough. So they're run with whatever they believe, and they would offend it, which is absolute madness because they don't realise that it is not something working in their best interests. The English language, or the language of Angel Leash, is a fantastic tool. So again, let's go back to that word asylum. You get the picture in your mind of what an asylum is, from say the 19th century and into the 20th century. Now if I add another word to that, the word seeker, asylum seeker, now what comes to mind? Isn't it funny how it's the same word? I've broken this word down, then pronounced as I can't find them, I can't find them, as in if you've lost your car keys, there's an example. So asylum is a psyop on them, from the perspective of those that are orchestrating it. But what actually is an asylum seeker? What does it actually tell you from that? Why would anybody seek to go in an asylum? So all these people coming from the third world, for whatever reason, they've got to be pretty crazy to want to come into the Western world when you've got this craziness and this crazy behaviour. But of course it's all by design. But I do wonder what some of these asylum seekers are actually told, or even refugees. If they've come from a warm tropical climate and they find that they are put into, say, Scotland in the middle of winter. And of course, because they are so culturally different, they stand out. And then you get the pendulum swing effect, because you have the resentment from the native population of Europe, because they'll often get preferential treatment. So it's that classic divide and conquer tactic that is being played out. The thing to do is just observe these things and import no fear from them, and keep yourself out of these asylums. Don't put yourself into one. They're not an actual physical building anymore. They are just something that is totally a conceptual thing in the mind. But how interesting that you have that word asylum and then you have asylum seeker. Both contain the word asylum, but with very different meanings. But look at what it reveals from that as well. This is why English is promoted so much around the world, because it is the most effective spellcaster. And it also highlights that we are trained to only hear words in one way, rather than looking at them objectively and seeing that there are double meanings to everything.